Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon on HBO Max. Crashes HBO, let's talk about it. Welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And on today's show, we got the first look at the Last of Us series coming to HBO Max. Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power is going to be released in theaters, the first 2 episodes. Really? And we got some surprises at the weekend box office as later on, Jesse Eisenberg is set to play a Sasquatch in his upcoming film. I don't know about that, but let's talk about the first news bit here. House of the Dragon is going to be the topic of, well, the next couple days, if not the next week. House of the Dragon premiere crashes HBO Max network, points to Amazon's devices. Amazon. Thousands of HBO subscribers had trouble watching Game of Thrones prequel on HBO Max. All right, this comes to us from The Hollywood Reporter. And it dropped last night. And, wow. Okay, so people were dashing to see it, presumably caused a flood of viewers. The crash impacted at least 3,000, so not a huge impact, only 3,000, but it's still somewhat of an impact. Mostly people who were trying to connect through their Amazon devices. That's why I'm waiting a day for. I'm not going to do it the night of reactions. Then that's why, because sometimes you might have that issue, and I'll slate, hey, every Sundays at 10 p.m. we're going to go live. No. We're going to do it Mondays, 1:30 p.m. We will be doing a full live watch along for House of the Dragon Episode 1 here on Mirror Domains. And you guys will be able to, well, if you've seen it, then you'll be able to know what I'm going to be reacting to. I haven't seen it yet, so it's one of those series that everybody's been anticipating, because I'm somebody who liked Game of Thrones. I didn't hate what they did with the last season. I just wish it would have been a little bit longer. But House of the Dragon on the tomato meter right now sits at 85% by the critics and 89% by the audience. Okay. The story of the House Targaryen set 200 years before events portrayed in Game of Thrones. So it's like, it's really far ahead. And I always thought this was going to be about the Mad King, but I guess maybe not. I'll have to see how this pans out. I'm very curious because I really like the trailers for it. And the cast looks absolutely stellar. 10 episodes. Okay. It's got a 9.1 rating on IMDb. Take that with what you say, what you will. Okay, so episode 1. 1:30 p.m. today. Patty Considine? I'm sorry if I'm butchering that last name. Okay. He's King Viserys Targaryen. Yeah, because it's about the Targaryens, right? Because they all have blonde hair in this. Emma Darcy's Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen. Princess Rhaenyra. Matt Smith, we know. We've seen him. He's probably going to be the big bad guy in this, right? Prince Damien Targaryen. Oh, Ray Fiennes is in this. The lizard from Spider-Man. Cool. So, is there anybody else here that jumps out at me in this? Yeah, the cast looks like it's going to be pretty good. Millie Alcock is what? Young Princess Rhaenyra. Wait, hold on. Rhaenyra, Princess Rhaenyra. Wait, so is there going to be like a time jump here? Young Princess. Is there going to be like we start off maybe episode 1 in the past, and then it's going to jump ahead a little bit? We'll have to wait and see. But it says 10 episodes here. Why are they all listed for 10 episodes? If there's a time jump, then she shouldn't be on all episodes unless there's flashbacks. Who knows? Graham McTavish, he was a bad guy in Rambo, right? Bill Patterson. Okay, Olivia Cook. Very cool. Patty Considine. Is a brilliant actor. Dead Man's Shoes is a must-watch. Okay. All right. So it looks like maybe he's the king in this. if you know Game of Thrones, then he's probably not going to be the king for that long, right? Maybe the first season he'll go out like Stark, maybe like get his head chopped off, or well, he's in control of the dragon, so we'll have to see how that kind of pans out. One last thing about this story before we get into some other news here. House of the Dragon producers are already having a ending planned. And, okay. Well, we see that the first season here is going to be 10 episodes, which is fine by me. I just, I don't want House of the Dragon to drag on for like 8 seasons. Yeah, I don't want it to drag. I'm sorry, on. Like, I mean, I don't want it to be like, stretched out to its limits, right? Keep it short and concise, like sort of what they're doing with Andor. Andor was supposed to be like 5 seasons. They condensed it to 3. That's what I like to see. Okay, but what do you guys think? They already got an ending in plan for House of the Dragon. First season kicked off last night with huge numbers. Amazon people had trouble. Are you excited for it? Let me know what you think about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Okay, guys, we do a daily movie news show at 12 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday, where we talk about all the big movie news headlines. I try to get through them as quickly as possible with no fluff. I give it to you straight up. If you want to follow us on the social medias, you can follow the pre-show that we do on Instagram. About 10 minutes before the show starts, I'll go on and I talk about how I feel and how I get ready. A little behind-the-scenes stuff. And then we do the post-show on Facebook Live, where I play my guitar a little bit sometimes, and I talk about how the show went down. Things like that. But hey, if you like these kinds of watch-alongs like we're going to do for House of Dragon, we're doing She-Hulk right now. We did Obi-Wan. We do full movie watch-alongs like for Predator, Prey, X, and some other cool shows that you might find interesting here on the channel. Obi-Wan, yeah. Hey, if you like movies and you like this kind of stuff, you'll find something you like here. Whew, I apologize for that, guys. I know YouTube wants me to say that stuff. I usually don't like to do it, but let's just get back into the stories. Continuing with HBO and Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, will screen first 2 episodes in theaters to celebrate the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. The first 2 episodes are premiering in theaters 2 days ahead of its Prime Video launch. Okay, so so it's Amazon Prime, sorry. Lord of the Rings is not HBO. It's Amazon Prime. Okay, that's right. But it's like it's a streaming service. You know what? With all of these streaming services going on, it's going to be confusing, as you can see, as to what's on what. But you want to watch Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, we're going to be watching it for sure. And don't worry about me if I can't find it. I have my little means. But it's going to be in theaters. And if it's playing in theaters, I might go to the theater and watch the first 2 episodes. So we may not be able to do full... Well, I don't know how that'll work. If I see it in the theaters, then we might have to just do reviews for it. Like full reviews. I'll still watch the full episodes with you guys, but it won't be like my first time reactions like it will be for House of the Dragon. Okay, so Bayona is behind the first 2 episodes. He did Fallen Kingdom. J.A. Bayona. A lot of people didn't like Fallen Kingdom. Oddly enough, I think that's my favorite out of the Jurassic World sequels. Yeah. I think that is. It grew on me. It did. Anyway, let's not digress. Let's take a look at what's going on here. For the theater release of Rings of Power, the ticket reservation is provided on a first-come, first-served basis and comes with a $10 snack voucher. Additionally, outside the USA and Canada, this event is being held across 200 locations globally, including the United Kingdom, Ireland, Argentina, Colombia, Australia, and New Zealand, with tickets reportedly being made available simultaneously. 9 a.m., August 31st. August 31st, guys. So I'm going to have to be checking my my theater listings, because apparently it's just going to be listed like that, and then it's first come, first serve. I'll go check out this on the big screen, because I think it's one of the most expensive TV shows ever made. I think it's going to lend itself brilliantly to the big screen. First 2 episodes, an hour each, hopefully. Not an hour and a half, guys. Don't take a page out of the... It's just too much for me. Yeah, Rings of Power. Okay, and then it comes out on September 2nd on Amazon Prime Video. Yes, Prime Video, Rings of Power. First 2 episodes in theater 2 days before. I'll be checking out my theater listings for this for sure. Will you guys go see it in the theater? Speaking about the Rings of Power, let's keep on that subject. They just dropped a huge 3-minute trailer for the Rings of Power called Sauron's Army. And it's a long trailer. Now, I'm not going to watch it here because I'll leave it to you guys to do that. I just feel like, well, you know, it does show a lot, but you can see like the grandiose scope. So thinking about this being released in the theaters, cool. I would, yeah, why not? Looks like there's some war going on here. I think Galadriel gets her crown of thorns or something there. Not crown of thorns, like just her crown, her wreath or whatever. We see a bunch of different races here at the table. Looks like elves and dwarves, maybe humans. Humans here. I don't know the plot. I've been keeping away of trying to get away from the spoiler videos of plot leaks. So I'm sure it's just about how Sauron. Well, we saw the plot like log line. It's about like how the Rings of Power came to be, right, for all the different races. So we know premise-wise what the Rings of Power is going to be about. But as far as like how everything goes down in it, I don't know. And I don't know any of the characters, except from Galadriel and that other elf that was played by Agent Smith. And I'm sure we're going to see some familiar locations, like this is Gondor, right? The top of the tower there, I think. And whoever this guy is, I'm sure this is like a villain sent by Sauron, right? To go out and cause a ruckus. We see some dwarves there. Like the imagery looks grand, and it's definitely something that I would say I would want to go see in the theater. I totally recommend that you go check out this 3-minute trailer. What I liked about it is that you also saw a little bit of the politics behind it. So, like them talking, should we get involved? Shouldn't we? You know, these people never really helped us, kind of thing. That kind of political stuff behind it. So I'm hoping that it does tap into a little bit of that. Perhaps. Oh, that looks great. That looks epic. And I know that some of the diehard fans out there, the Tolkien fans, are saying, well, this doesn't follow the lore. This changes things a little bit. But just give it a chance, guys. That's what I always say. Give it a chance first. That's what I did with things like Sandman. We'll talk about Sandman later on. And, yeah, like the production values look absolutely stellar. So this 3-minute trailer, and whoever this bad guy is, like, that's not Sauron, is it? Before he becomes like this big bad guy, or in some other necromancer, I don't know. But I'm very curious. I'm very curious to see Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Prime Video, September 2nd, and in theaters 2 days beforehand. I'll be checking my listings. Will you guys be going to see it in the theater? Because it looks grand, it looks epic, and I definitely am hyped about this. This is going to be a good month. I feel it. I feel like this is going to be a great month for us. All right, guys. Let's take some live comments here, and then we'll get into the weekend box office. Our Glass Viking says, okay, so there are GOT addicts still out there. Season 8 didn't ruin everything. No, it didn't. It didn't. And I think Season 8 it'll get better as people step away from it, I think. People were just wanting so much from it, like the anticipation. When things weren't meeting their expectations, they were like, oh... Right? But just give it a second. And then you said Paddy Considine is a brilliant actor. Yeah. Okay, drag on low Uber for James. Yeah, I know. But I mean, come on. It was sitting there. It's low-hanging fruit. Hourglass Vikings also says theater release is a great move for the Rings of Power. If that doesn't hook the audience in advance, they'll stream as normal. It's a win-win. Yeah, for sure. $20 million per episode. This has to be one to watch for sure. And we saw from that extended trailer that some of the imagery is just beautiful. Lenny Henry is in Rings of Power. He's a national treasure in England. Looks like a great cast. Okay. Yeah, I didn't pull up the IMDb for that. Because we're going to have to move through some of these stories rather quickly today, guys. Because I want to hit that 1:30 mark for House of Dragon. All right, it's the Monday, August 22nd. So you know what that means. It's time for the weekend's box office report, which should be the full size of the screen, but it's not there. So that's a botch. But let's just get to it. Okay, so this is the weekend box office for August 19th to the 21st, 2022. Number 1 was Dragon Ball Superhero. Really? Wow. Number 2 was Beast. Number 3 was Bullet Train. Number 4 was Top Gun Maverick. And number 5 was DC Super Pets. And Thor Love and Thunder dropped out of the top 5. So did Nope. And Orphan First Kill debuted at 12 with 1.6 million. Now it was simultaneously released, but Orphan First Kill was only released in a small amount of theaters, only 498, so it wasn't that much. But out of the new releases, I'm going to go see Beast later on tomorrow, so I'll bring in with that. But the big surprise is Dragon Ball Superhero, 20.1 million to take the number 1 spot. Yowzer. I knew that the Dragon Ball crowd out there was huge, but you know what? I just attribute this to the lack of big releases. And Beast, 11.5 million in the second spot. Good, kudos. I speculated 5 to 10 million, so that exceeded my expectations. But let's take a look at this Dragon Ball Superhero, because kids can go to this, right? Kids can go to this, so yeah. 20.1 domestically, 25 internationally, so 45.2 worldwide. I don't know what the budget is. I didn't even know this movie existed until last Thursday. Yeah. Well, kudos for it. But let's take a look at Beast, that Idris Elba lion movie, where he takes his young daughters to Savannah, and then a lion attacks them. 11.5 domestically, 10.2 internationally for 21.8 worldwide. Now, I'm sure that the budget for this was not grandiose. I wouldn't think that it would be $40 to $50 million for the budget. So, we'll have to see how that fares. I'll keep my eye on it. This coming next week, I don't think there's really anything more except The Invitation. And that's another kind of horror fantasy kind of thing. So I don't think Invitation will crack this top. Well, I think it will. I think it'll come in like 4th or 5th. Because Dragon Ball will still, I think if Dragon Ball was that successful, it's going to stay in number 1 next week. Beast will come down a bit. Bullet Train, it may drop below Bullet Train. Because Bullet Train is like the last biggest, only blockbuster, huge blockbuster of August. Which is cool. Hey, if you haven't seen Bullet Train, it's a lot of fun, guys. It is. And so is Top Gun Maverick. Dropping down to the 4th spot. Let's take a look at Top Gun Maverick here. Wait. Because, man, 683.3. So it's going to pass Avengers, right? For sure. 1.4. I thought it was going to tap out around 1.2, but because of the lack of things in the theater, 1.4 billion. Tom Cruise, Top Gun Maverick, guys. If you haven't seen it yet, go out and see it in the theater because it's spectacular. And then DC Super Pets. But Orphan First Kill, let's talk about that, because we talked about this on the Weekend Horror Roundup that we do every Saturday, guys. We talk about all the big horror movie headlines, and I did my review for it, and I really liked Orphan First Kill. So to see that it's actually got some box office numbers, that's cool. Because it was meant mostly to be just a streaming movie. And this is exactly what Prey should have done. Predator Prey, which should have done this as well, had like a small theater release, and you could have been raking in an extra $2 or $3 million. For sure. Orphan First Kill. I totally recommend it if you're a fan of horror. If you like the first Orphan movie, it's a must-see for sure. Then Isabel Fuhrman and Julia Stiles knocked it out of the park. I really enjoyed it. I really did. Okay, so that's pretty much the way that the box office numbers have gone for this week, guys. Our Glass Vikings in the live chat says, yeah, the Beast was only a budget of $36 million. $36 million for Beast. So, well, it's going to have a little bit of a run here for the next couple of weeks. It's not going to make as much as this. So maybe it'll just crawl. No, it's going to almost make double that now. I don't know if it will. Unless it opens up in more markets that it hasn't opened up yet. But its widest release was 3,743 theaters. It's going to have some longevity, though, perhaps. I'm going to see it tomorrow, so pay attention for that. All right. Interesting. Yeah. Some theaters and movies are just, man, this would be, if you had it like something in your back pocket, like Orphan First Kill or Predator Prey, you could have been making some cheddar this month at the theaters. All right. Let's continue on with some more movie news. With Knives Out 2. Knives Out 2. Release date. Did you like Knives Out? I was late to the party for Knives Out. Netflix reveals release date for Knives Out sequel, Glass Onion. So we got a release date. Cool. And we got some first images. It's going to take place in Greece. It looks like it's going to take place on a yacht of some kind with a huge, stellar cast. Glass Onion Knives Out Mystery will debut on Netflix on December 23rd. Well, we'll expect a full live watch-along for that. December 23rd. After hitting select theaters on a date to be announced. So it'll be also released in theaters. So Netflix is using that formula. Yes, because you can still make money in the theater and release it on streaming at the same time. I'm sure they're putting it in theaters to help perhaps push towards award season. That's what I think. Let's see who else is in this. Well, we know that Daniel Craig's going to be back. Edward Norton's in this. Janelle Monáe, Catherine Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr., Jessica Henwick, Madeline Klein, and Kate Hudson with Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista is the one that I'm kind of like, I want to see what's going on here. All right, what's this? It's all of them sitting at a table. There's the inspector at the end here. This is Janelle Monáe. Is that Kate Hudson? There's Bautista right there, eh? That's Catherine Hahn. I don't know. I don't know who that is, but that's definitely Edward Norton. That's a pairing that I want to see. Edward Norton, I know that you hear the stories behind the scenes that he's kind of difficult to work with because he's very controlling of what he wants to do kind of thing, but he's a great performer. Rounders is probably my favorite film of his. I know a lot of people like American History X, but if they make Knives Out summer like Christmas kind of thing, yeah, like a murder mystery at Christmas, yeah, when you got family around and stuff like that, that's a lot of fun. But that's a really cool image, and I don't know if this is it doesn't look like this is going to be on the yacht. This looks like it's going to be in a house of some kind. I don't think a yacht would have pillars here. But they're discussing the situation. Perhaps he's making accusations as who done it. Knives Out. Yeah. Johnson said about this, I'm always fishing for something fun that Blanc can grab onto as an overwrought metaphor that he can beat to death. This is all in plain sight from the very start, so the idea of glass came to me, something that's clear. I'll be very honest. I literally got out my iPhone and searched my music library for the word glass. There has to be some good glass songs. I was like, oh, it's a glass fortress, it's a glass castle, it's a glass man. First thing came up was a huge Beatles fan is Glass Onion. So he got it from a Beatles song. Okay. Oh, and there's another image of Ryan Johnson with Janelle Monáe. That's somebody who else I'm also very interested in. For sure. Hourglass says in the live chat, Edward Norton is amazing. He was excellent in the score. Yeah. Yeah, he was good in that too. Was that one that his breakout one with Richard Gere? Where he's on trial for murder and he's got like a split personality. That one was good too. Okay, so Knives Out, Glass Onion. December 23rd, guys. Cool. On Netflix. Yeah, this is a streaming type of day, guys. We do have some big headlines out there. But mostly it's going to be about streaming services. Glass. Glass Onion. Yeah, well, Glass. Big Rec has a song called Glass. Glass Room, right? Anyway, The Last of Us last night debuted a small trailer for The Last of Us. It's not really a full trailer, though. It was more like a small snippet of upcoming projects, and then at the very end they tack in like 10 seconds of footage from the upcoming series, The Last of Us, starring the Mandalorian himself, Pedro Pascal, and Bella Ramsey as Ellie. So, you know, the girl from Game of Thrones, right, who got herself squished by a huge giant? Spoiler. Sorry for the spoiler there, but yeah. No release date was revealed in the footage. The series is confirmed to premiere sometime in 2023, so no release date. But there were some images, like some actual full footage of it. So let's pull that up here. Yeah, so it's like a 2-minute and 20-second reel of upcoming projects, and then there at the very end they release just some. It's just them pretty much walking through the wasteland there, guys, on their guard for things coming next year. So you do get to hear them talking. They're just talking about it being dangerous and stuff, and for some reason I can't turn on the closed captions, but it looks like he's going to train her to shoot here. And if you played The Last of Us, I'm sure that this is something that's going to grab a lot of people's attentions, because they want to know how faithful to it it's going to be. And I never played it, so I'm not sure how it's going to be. Maybe I can turn on the sound here for this little clip here. That's what I'll do. I'll turn on the sound for this. See what he says here. Because it literally is. It's not that long.
Died or left me.
You have no idea what loss is.
Who has no idea what loss is? I have no idea what loss is?
No idea what.
Or he has.
You have no idea what loss is.
I have no idea what loss is? It looks like he lost somebody. But I think she's going to be okay. She's a good actress, so as Ellie. All in one place. Okay, so then it goes into the House of the Dragon and stuff like that. So, yeah, it showed a whole bunch of stuff from upcoming projects. Like The Idol with Johnny Depp's daughter. Lily Rose Depp, is that her name? I don't know anything about that. His Dark Materials, new season. Industry. The White House Plumbers. With Woody Harrelson playing the president? Is he? Or I don't know. Succession. Whatever. The Gilded Age. Wait, is the Gilded Age that sort of spin-off of it's Bridgerton, right? Is it Bridgerton? Or yeah, that's supposed to be like the North American version of it or something. Titans. Yeah, so it's just a real. Oh wait, and then there was one with Elizabeth Olsen in here that did catch my eye, because I'm a huge Elizabeth Olsen fan. Looks like she plays in a period piece, Love and Death limited series. All right, WandaVision was awesome. Hey, talk about full live watch-alongs. We did full live watch-alongs for WandaVision. Up on the channel in playlists. And all of these things will be in playlists for you guys. House of the Dragon will be in a playlist. Rings of Power will be in a playlist. She-Hulk's in a playlist. Obi-Wan's in a playlist. Stranger Things is all in playlists. Hey, you're going to find something that you like here, guys, for sure. Primal Fear was that movie with Edward Norton. Hourglass says, yes. The Last of Us is set in Alberta. Cool. All right. So anyway, that's our first look, and if you guys thought it was cool, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. let's talk about Obi-Wan. I'm talking about series here. Let's continue on. Obi-Wan Documentary, A Jedi's Return. September 8th. I guess they put out a big documentary. And it's just showing them behind the scenes and stuff. Because I really liked Obi-Wan Season 1. I did. I understand and I sort of agree with some of the criticisms that perhaps the acting at times was meh, the dialogue was meh, but it was just cool to see Ewan McGregor back and Hayden Christensen, which it looks like this documentary goes into, because he's there on the volume talking about some of the stuff that happens, or at least in front of a big screen, talking about his experiences. But I like it because it shows them. Okay, so that's from the prequels, though. Yeah, that's prequel era, right? Is it? That's not new. Well, they did show them when they were training on Coruscant, so maybe that is new stuff. Shows him getting into his Darth Vader helmet. But that was really him. Like, remember that episode of him just standing out in the desert? That apparently was really him. Well, man, imagine Hayden putting back on this costume again. How that would feel. How that would just be like, I can't believe I get to do it again, right? I can't believe it. Wow. And then, like, the camaraderie and the chemistry between him and Obi-Wan was what really made episode 3 for me. Okay, so this was on the volume when they did that city scene. Okay. Oh, and then this is new footage of them training for the new fights. Cool. So, yeah. And you know these two guys. You saw all the behind-the-scenes stuff for episode 2 and 3. So you know these guys love to do the training to make it look authentic. And that final scene, the big showdown on that planet, it did pay off in spades. So that was cool. And then, of course, they shot that stuff on Coruscant in the training scene. Documentary, though, on Disney Plus. I'll be watching it. I'll be watching this for sure. Because I want to see some of the behind the scenes of them training. There's Reva. And they just talk about Star Wars and stuff like that, what it meant to you and stuff like that. So, Obi-Wan Documentary coming out on Disney Plus September 8th. Full trailer is online right now, guys. I totally recommend that you go and check this out. Because if you're a fan of that series and you like Star Wars, you like Ewan McGregor, hey, it's worth the look. It is. And I'll be checking it out. We're not going to do a reaction to it or anything, but hey, it's on the radar for sure. Talking about Star Wars, J.J. Abrams. Some say the savior of Star Wars. It gets canceled. Sort of. Okay, so let's take a look at this story here. Coming from Deadline, Bad Robot series My Glory Was I Had Such Friends scrapped by Apple after Jennifer Garner exits. A series that J.J. Abrams was putting together here. Jeez, you can tell. Yeah, look at, she works out. Jennifer Garner, stunning beauty. So what is this series for Apple TV? Limited series. My Glory Was I Had Such Friends. J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot. Okay, so Warner Bros. TV. As a result, the streamer opted to not go forward with the project. And he just got another one canceled, JJ. He had like this big, huge thing called Demonane or something. That was going to be like $250 million to produce. And what was it, Zaslav or somebody, some big guy said, nope, we're not doing that. So, and then it looks like this fell apart because Jennifer Garner exited. You know, JJ, everybody thinks that he was like the savior of Star Wars, but he just, aside from his big kickoff with Lost, people realize that, oh yeah, he has the ability to hook you and grab you in, which he does, but he can't finish things with a satisfying, like he's great at setting things up, but he just can't pay off. And I think that stepping away from The Last Jedi, from the second one was probably his biggest mistake of his entire career, because it was offered to him and he didn't want to do it, and they kind of begged him to come back to do the third one. So anyway, yeah, and people are on to him. People are on to his game. That's all he's able to do. Demimonde, yeah. That's the one that got canceled for being too expensive. Let's see if there's any comments here. 28 comments. Wow. All right. Hopefully they're not too egregious. So JJ has been overrated from day one. Well, I wouldn't say that, because Lost was successful. Star Wars is kind of like, I'm not sure, because it could have been anybody. Episode 7, as long as you got the 3 coming back for it, people were going to go see it regardless. I think Episode 7 was guaranteed to make $1 billion if you got those 3 actors of Luke, Han, and Leia back, whoever was directing. So I don't credit JJ for that. He's known as the franchise killer. Really? That's, I don't know. And just doesn't innovate anymore, if he ever did, says Len. It's pretty strong words. He killed Star Trek. He put the last stake in the heart of Star Wars. Yes. I tolerated The Rise of Skywalker because it was at least trying to answer some of the questions that was set up in the first 2 films. But those answers didn't work for a lot of people. He killed Star Trek. Well, they're still trying to make the 4th one that was supposed to go into production now, so it would be out next December. And we still haven't heard any rumblings about that. So maybe he is the franchise killer. Weird definition of killed you have there, says Ghost Robot, considering both franchises are still putting out content. Not in the theaters, they're not. And JJ has nothing to do with anything of the Star Wars series on streaming or Star Trek series on cable. He's not a hand in that. And those aren't thriving because of what's been going on in the theaters. So, yeah, just do an Alias reboot. That's all we want. Heck yeah. So people want an Alias reboot with Jennifer Garner. Yeah. Can't CAA solve. Yeah, so people are mostly ragging on Abrams here. He's the token punching bag of the day. I know some people still appreciate his work. I think the only film that I have in my library of his is Super 8. And I know people say, well, that's just a copy of E.T. and Goonies and blah, 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 whatever. But I like the performances in it. And because I sold The Force Awakens, I was like, I'm not watching this anymore. And I hawked it for 5 bones. Anyway, J.J. Abrams, bummer news for him. Not a great time for him right now. Artglass Viking says in live chat, Jennifer Garner was amazing in Peppermint. I still need to watch Peppermint. And is cool with Ben and J-Lo getting hitched again. Oh, yeah. Well, because Ben Affleck and her were married once. And she knows about his problems. Yes. Argos Vikings Lost was a head scratch towards the end of the series. Very frustrating man is RJJ. Yeah, well, yeah, the last season, they said from day one, don't worry, they're not dead. They're not in purgatory. It's just like, well, okay, fine, they're all dead. They're all in purgatory. It's like, come on. Yeah. Whew. Spoiler alert for Lost. That's been out for decades now, right? Anyway, She-Hulk season 2. She-Hulk season 2. Really? She-Hulk series was developed as if there was no possibility of a second season. And I think a lot of series are being developed like this. As I said before, we are doing a full live watch-along of the She-Hulk series currently. That will be Thursdays, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. And I can't wait for episode 2 because I really liked the first episode. I haven't seen a good pilot in a while. Except for for a new series, like a pilot to launch a series. I haven't seen a good one in a while, and She-Hulk definitely was a good pilot to launch a series. Not a season, but a series. But but they wrote it with the possibility of possibility of a second season. Let's take a look at this from Marvel. The series was conceived as a single-season story with the mental approach that a second season would not happen. Okay. So let's take a look at the Deadline's Hero Nation podcast, where She-Hulk writer Jessica Gao recently told us this. Coming from television, you can never guarantee that you're going to get another season with the first season show. So it's kind of been trained into my head that on a first season show, you really have to tell a complete story, and that's, you should. That you'd be satisfied with if this was only one and done. Did Moon Knight do that? Because Moon Knight kind of ended with a cliffhanger. And that was only supposed to be a limited series. And we heard the rumblings that they're currently secretly shooting Moon Knight Season 2 right now. Well, let's just see how that goes. But just because there's never a guarantee, you just never know if you're going to get another season. So you can't really hold back and just leave things open-ended. What did I just say about Moon Knight? You do have to tell some sort of satisfying arc in one season just in case, and then, of course, you leave the door open for possibilities for a second or third or fourth season. So that was the kind of mental approach to it. And I hope She-Hulk wins over all of the haters out there of the CG. Guys, I really like the first episode, and I do like Tatiana Maslany as Jen Waters, right? Sorry. Is that it? Yeah. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Great series. Great pilot. So, yeah. I think that's the right mix to go. I think that's the right direction to go for sure. I think that, I don't think they've released the title of the episode 2 yet, have they? Whoops. Wiki. Yeah, let's go to the wiki. Wikipedia. Yeah, Walters, that's right. Episode 2 is not announced yet. Okay. Alright. We'll have to see how that goes. Jennifer Walters. Yeah, so they're bringing back Ally McBeal TV show with a different actress. Lost shows becoming fashionable again after She-Hulk. Yeah, well, that's what I heard. But I never watched Ally McBeal, so I was never a big fan of that series. I was never a big fan of the courtroom dramas. But we'll be checking that out. And follow the playlist for the She-Hulk full live watch-alongs. Alright, Sandman Season 2. Really? Talking about that same kind of theme here. Neil Gaiman says that the Sandman success, which is big on Netflix right now, it's still like trending like number 1 or 2, may not guarantee a second season. Because they conceived of it as one big arc. Now, I'll tell you this, guys. Here's where I am at with Sandman. I'm liking it. Now, as a series pilot, it's not that good. I always expect that the pilot will, just like Lost did, as a series pilot, people crash land on the island. They're fighting for survival. You hear this big loud sound from the forest, and there's some big monster killing people. So it's kind of like, whoa. Episode 1 of Sandman, he gets kidnapped. We don't know who he is, really, what the extent of his powers are. That's supposed to launch the show. Now, I understood that it was supposed to be a slower pace kind of thing, and as I said, starting this, I've come around to it. I like it. I'm 4 episodes in right now. And I have filmed my small little snippets of, like, after the episode was done, I've filmed my little, how I feel about it. And I thought about publishing them as I go along. But since it's been out for a couple of days, I'm just going to put them all together and publish it as one big video. Maybe I'll publish the small snippets on Twitch and Instagram, or not Twitch, on TikTok and Instagram in their small segments. But you will get those hopefully by week's end. I'll finish watching Sandman because I'm 4 episodes in. I just finished the Hell episode, which I thought I would love because I love Gwendolyn Christie. The fighting in that was just... but I do... his deadpan performance is interesting, and I'm finding that I'm coming around to it because I do like abstract storytelling. And the reports that I got from this one guy who said that it was chock full of nudity and, gay this, gay that. And it's like, I'm 4 episodes in, and I think only they've mentioned it twice. So obviously that report from that reviewer, that trusted guy he's my go-to man for Hellraiser news. And he's been just going off on I don't know what he's doing. He's tapping into that outrage culture to the point where, okay, if there's a gay person or gay couple in a series, then it's like, it's social justice. They're promoting social justice. No, it's not. Just like this. Hey, yeah, there is a gay couple in this, but that's what happens in real life, man. So it's kind of like they're just portraying what happens in real life. They're not shoving it down your throat as what he was trying to tell me. So don't get that impression by watching The Sandman. At least that's what I felt. And I felt like while I was watching it, maybe we should have done full live watch-alongs for it. Because I just thought it was going to be like the Game of Thrones. You see some nakedness and nudity and people like that. That's the impression I was getting from his review. And so that was misfounded by him. Mr. Yeah. Anyway. I'm really enjoying it. So anyway, let's take a look at this. They said that the success, because Sandman is a really expensive show, and for Netflix to release the money to us, let us make us another season, we had to perform incredibly well. So yes, we've been the top show in the world for the last 2 weeks. That still may not be enough, says Neil Gaiman. Well, we'll have to see how this wraps up, at least for me. The Sandman fans were treated to a surprise bonus episode, and we saw that last week too, that there's a bonus episode. So it's 11 episodes. That's where I'm at. Hopefully by Friday, before Friday or Saturday, I'll get my full review out for it for episode 1 of The Sandman. Not guaranteed a second season, despite the fact that people are liking it. I can understand why people like it. Because it is some interesting premises. Our Glass Viking says in live chat, the Sandman is too human in my eyes. There's not enough enigma or fantasy surrounding him. I almost expect him to buy a newspaper and catch a bus. Well, yeah, a little bit like that. It's kind of like the scene in the bedroom with the girl that was holding the sand. Oh, so spoiler alert. He's like, I don't care about her. And he's just going to walk out. But then there's an appeal made to his humanity, right? If they deal more with that later on in the series, that'll make it more interesting. But if it's more like that deadpan, just walking around, I don't care about you, Dr. Manhattan with clothes would be a better Sandman entity, Arglass says. Yeah. Because we still don't know the full extent of his powers yet, and I'm 4 episodes in. He can obviously beat Lucifer in a fight. Weird fight, by the way. Weird. Weird. And I don't see... we'll talk about it in my reviews for it. Hopefully it'll come out this weekend. Maybe I'll start releasing those little snippets on TikTok and Instagram there for you guys. Maybe later on today you'll get the first couple ones released. Because they're in the camera right now. I just got to transfer them and put them up. All right. But that's where we are for The Sandman. Not guaranteed a season 2. Were you a fan of it? Do you want to see a season 2 for Sandman? And I'm slowly catching up with it, guys. I'm catching up. This one's just a fun one. Jesse Eisenberg will play a Sasquatch. What? Jesse Eisenberg will play a Sasquatch for his next movie role. Bigfoot, Step Aside. As Jesse Eisenberg will be the new Sasquatch in town for his next movie role. Okay. What's this all about? This article up on MovieWeb, and it's across other outlets as well. Just go in to talk about some of his past work. Zombieland. He's directing a new movie with Julianne Moore. And who else? Finn Wolfhard, Emma Stone is going to be in this one that he's directing. But then after that, after he's done directing this picture, he's going to be in a movie from David and Nathan Zellner. There's no title for this yet. No title. But he says he will be playing a Sasquatch. Hey, I like Bigfoot. He'll be going out. He'll be going all out with the character, which includes no spoken dialogue and getting covered from head to toe in Bigfoot-like fur. I play a Sasquatch, full makeup, full body hair, no lines. I grunt, but no lines. I'm so looking forward to this. So what? Is it going to be kind of like the Harry and the Hendersons, or is it going to be like, what is it? Those Cro-Magnon man commercials from, what is it? Is it a beer, or is it like an insurance commercial? So I don't know how that's going to be. Weird. It's like, okay, man, you want to play Sasquatch? Yeah. I was kidnapped by a female Sasquatch once. Camping one time, all by myself. And she forced me to do evil things. It's a memory I don't like to go back down. Anyway, let's just move on. There are a few more stories here. One last one that I didn't put here, but it's in the description. Wedding Crashers 2 could still happen, Owen Wilson teases. We know that there's a script for it out there. But we know that Vince Vaughn is on board for it. But it's just Owen Wilson right now has got Loki going on. He's got some other big projects out there that he's been just kind of like hasn't been able to get around to it. So let's take a look here. What's his quote here? David Dobkin, the director, I think he's kind of still exploring ideas, and it was kind of one of those movies that we had such a great time doing. It got a really nice response. So just hoping that if you do something, that it will live up to the first one. They're still working on some stuff, yes. He said when recently asked about it. Because there were a script, and we know that from Vince Vaughn. That's just, I don't know where they would go with this. Because it would be 4 of them, right? Rachel McAdams, Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn, and Isla Fisher. I would still see that. 4 of them crashing weddings together or doing something. As long as it's... Because the first one is very much him being deluded with his perceptions of reality and then getting called on it and then slowly beaten, like for real beaten, to come around on it. But they did have a lot of fun. That dinner scene at the dinner table. Yeah, it's probably my favorite scene. But yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. He just said they're working on it. That's pretty much it. Okay, guys. 12:55. Let's just take a quick brief snapshot overlook of the Twitter roundup, and then we'll round out the main show. And then we'll do the post show, and then we'll do the Hosts of the Dragon full live watch along. Do you have the female Sasquatch's number? Asking for a friend. Our Glass of Viking said. Unfortunately, no. Twitter. Elvis has become Baz Luhrmann's highest grossing film domestically, surpassing The Great Gatsby. And it's well earned. Austin Butler. Elvis. Fantastic job. Fantastic. Great movie, too. It's going to be in my top 10 for sure. Biopic on Elizabeth Taylor, titled A Special Relationship, is reportedly in development. Okay. Rachel Weisz was early cast as Taylor in the film Exploring the Star's Journey. Was earlier cast. What? Was earlier cast. So it sounds like they were trying to get this off the ground, and then they cast Rachel Weisz, but now she's not. Exploring the Star's Journey actress to activist. We'll have to keep our eyes on that for maybe tomorrow, guys. Sofia Coppola is set to direct an untitled indie film. I like Sofia Coppola's work. Marie Antoinette is probably my favorite. People like Virgin Suicides too, right? She did Virgin Suicides. And I don't care what people say. I liked her in Godfather Part 3. I did. And I'm a little bit taken by her as well. So anyway. Issa Rae will write and produce and remake Italian comedy Perfect Strangers. Oh, Brendan Fraser's coming to TIFF for The Whale. Cool. Looks like he's whipped himself back up into shape. Unless this is an older photo of him. The Inspection. Okay, there's The Glass Onion. We've seen that. Maybe there's a few new pictures we haven't seen. No. The official poster for Spider-Man No Way Home, the more fun stuff version, has been released. Yeah, apparently they're re-releasing this with a few deleted scenes that didn't make the actual cut. Maybe we get some more Tobey and Garfield. I think that's what I heard too, right? September 2nd. You know, if it released now, it would crack the top 10 for the weekend box office. It would. I'd go see it in the theater again. Okay, Rings of Power. All right. Harry Styles says he won't do another movie for a while. I think there'll be a time again when I'll crave... What? Man, you're just... What? That's not how you build a career. You're just building momentum up. Don't Worry, Darling. I'm very looking forward to. You know, you got a post-credit scene in Eternals. Hey, people are going to start thinking about you as an actor. He was also in that cop movie that was about like a gay cop or something. Something like that. You just started going and now you want to take time off. That doesn't make sense. Harry took it to another, unless you need it for mental health. Maybe that's why. So maybe I won't rag on him too much. But I'm looking forward to Don't Worry, Darling. Thor Love and Thunder will debut on Disney Plus September 8th. Well, that's just around the corner. Big night for House of the Dragon. Oh, God, guys, half an hour. Half an hour and we get to watch House of the Dragon Episode 1. I'm excited for it. I'm excited. It's just one of those ones I'm going to have to tread lightly. Because there is nudity, I heard in this. We get to see quite a bit of... Matt Smith, from what I've heard. So I'll have to be watching to make sure that I don't get caught. Aubrey Plaza. There's the Pedro Pascal and Last of Us. Okay. All right. That's pretty much it for the Twitterverse, guys. They're talking about House of the Dragon. Jennifer Coolidge says that she would want Jennifer Lawrence to play her in a biopic. Stifler's mom. That would be interesting. And Jennifer's coming back now. She's been in a few productions. So, yeah. Our Glass Viking says, Harry Styles doesn't need the money. He's a man of leisure. Yeah, he doesn't need the money. All right. Guys, that's it. New trailer for Todd Field's Tar, starring Cate Blanchett, will be released next week. Okay. Eisenberg, play the Sasquatch. Let's end it out there, guys. Thank you for joining me. Join me in a few minutes for Facebook Live, about 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll go for about 10, 15 minutes there, and then we'll come back here on YouTube for House of the Dragon full live watch along episode 1. I'll see you guys in a few minutes on Facebook Live for the post show. See you there, and if not, see you tomorrow for more movie news, 12 p.m. See you there.